Flyways podcast. I am your host, Joey Basayo, and to my right we have a Calness.
Hola. Hola, welcome to the Midwest Flyways podcast. We have two very special guests here today, by the way. Dude, great job. You brought the energy, baby.
That's what I'm talking about.
Unbelievable,
I am not fucking around.
I like that. I like that a lot out of you.
That was hot.
It was.
Yeah.
You came in hot.
And our special guests are Matt McCormick and Brady Davis. Thank you guys for being here. We're super pumped to have you.
Hey, Midwest Flyways.
Down in the basement.
Thank you. Yeah, we're down in the dungeon and doing it.
We're doing
It's
it
a
in
hell
the
of a
dungeon.
space you guys got here, though. Seriously.
Thanks, man.
Very impressive.
We
This
appreciate
guy.
it.
I figured it was Cal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
dude. I'm just the guy who's like, put in the screw, and he's like, well, it's a 16 by 9 room, and if we put decoys in the corner there and we have a candle here, I'm like, a candle?
Yeah.
Okay.
Have we ever
yeah.
lit the candle?
Yeah. Look at it, dude.
So lit.
Shit's almost gone.
It does create some phenomenal mood lighting.
It does.
Yeah.
I'm talking
And a
about.
nice scent.
Mm-hmm.
I think what is it? It's a very manly scent.
Musk and mahogany.
Yeah, something.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. I have no idea.
This is high
Leather
class
and
around
I feel like
here.
we should
Tobacco.
light it now.
It's high class. We should light that.
We should light it.
I mean, it's there.
Yeah. I'm going to
Front and center.
I would prefer to light it. I would feel better going forward. I can only speak for me, but
Yeah, I know. But you speak for all of us at the same time.
Well,
And I
it's
really
not-
appreciate that.
It sounds like your guys' relationship is very similar to Brady and I.
Yeah, well, Cal and I have known
Yeah.
each other for 25 years.
Wow.
Grew up across the street from each other,
mm.
and we've been blood brothers ever since.
That's badass.
How long
Take
have you
cool.
guys known each other?
9 years now.
Okay.
9? Yeah.
Yeah, 9
Coming
years.
up on a decade reunion for you guys.
Yeah, we're gonna throw a party.
Yeah?
Are you really?
Well, we will. I just thought of it, but
That's
we can throw
an
a banger
incredible
party.
idea.
yeah,
We actually can throw a banger party.
and we can get
for
some
sure.
like really nice balloons, like those foil cellophane balloons
Balloons.
that say 10. Because get it? I mean, it would be 10
Yeah, a
years.
decade of being buds.
And we'll invite you guys.
Yeah, we'll come.
I'll be there.
Absolutely.
Wouldn't miss it
Mm-hmm.
for the world.
Do it when my second child is coming, so that I
I'm
can't
gonna-
be there out of obligation.
I'm gonna have to look at the calendar, but we can work together.
It's unbelievable.
Hey, Brady,
Well-
you should hold on. You should tell him the story about how we met.
Orgy.
I can
hate-
start it if you want.
Skin is everywhere.
So
I mean, I'm willing to tell the story.
I
if you want.
dislike that Matt brought that up, but I will tell the story because I have to. So when I was just moving to Bozeman, and we went to a waterfowl event, and we were at this event, and they were doing like a sporting clay shoot.
Yeah.
And so we get there, and there's 8-10 people there, and of course, I mean, I've shot sporting clays, but when you get there and you don't know anybody, you just kind of got to go through like the first few stations and like take inventory, right?
Yeah.
Who's the top shooters? Who's the bottom shooters? And like, where do I fit in this mix?
Yeah.
Well, we had 2 guys with us who were like world-class sporting clay shooters, like level 10. Right out of the gate was very clear that we were not going to win
Right.
a first place prize.
Like they're like low 90s all the time.
Yeah, like they're really good. And then there was a couple guys who really truly sucked. And so Matt and I are in the middle, and I'm kind of gauging, and I'm shooting, and like we're both shooting good, and I'm like, okay, that's eye on the target. That's my boy. I'm gonna beat his ass. Well, it's a 100-round sporting clays course, and so we go through the whole thing. And he's up, and I'm up, and he's up, and I'm up. But I didn't know him well enough to like talk a heap of shit.
Yeah.
But about halfway through, like it kind of started to happen, right?
Naturally.
And we're having fun, and it's kind of in jest, and we're doing the thing. And I get up like 3 clays above him, and I'm like, I got him. We've got like 3 more stations to go. And I don't know what happened. It might have been the altitude or the weather or like the Earth's curvature.
Sure.
But in the very end, he got super lucky, and we get to the last station, and we are dead nuts tied.
And it's a deep
Super lucky.
a deep 45-yard crosser.
Yeah. And so I stand up, I shoot. Matt stands up, he shoots, and he beat me by 1 clay.
Holy shit.
And to this day, it's a bit of a salty subject for me, so that's why he brought it up.
Yeah.
Because I would not have done that.
I brought it up because it's a good story.
For you, yes, it was a great story for you.
It was when we met.
unbelievable.
Yeah,
It's great.
it was how we met.
Yes.
It was how the magic happened.
And at that point then, you guys actually became friends like at that time, like that weekend?
Oh no, he was
that week?
super salty there.
Yeah,
for a while.
I was
and
salty.
so he was hosting a party at his house that night to nightcap the whole thing. And I had never met him, never met his wife, but I mean, you played your competition and I beat him, which is great.
Barely.
Still won, dude.
Win's a win.
Also, as far as you blaming the curvature of the earth, this is a flat earth podcast, if you ask Joey.
Every
So,
time, dude.
I'm just going to
Really?
throw that out there.
No,
Yeah.
get out of here.
It might have just been
Anyway.
topography, but go on.
Just continue your story.
Joey said
I
one
don't
thing
wanna
about
hear this.
flat earth one time, and so I just bring it up whenever possible. So as soon as you said curvature of the earth, I was like, oh,
Yeah.
Joey doesn't believe that.
I knew that was coming.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. All right. Sorry, Matt.
But he
continue.
throws this party.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
He's like on the edge of if he likes me or not.
Yeah.
And frankly, I am too, because he's kind of an asshole.
Yeah, he's being a dick all day, right?
I mean, and he was.
yeah.
But I was pouring salt in the wound. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
Anyways, we ended up exchanging numbers, hanging out a few more times. Hunting season came around, went and did some hunting, and the rest is kind of a long journey
Damn.
to be here with you guys.
I will say this about the hunting season. So right then, Matt was working for a creative agency, and right before hunting season, he quit his job.
Well, I quit in October, on October 15th.
Yeah.
I got back from Saskatchewan, quit.
Which was so awesome because then, like, I was new to Bozeman. I didn't know anybody, and was like, and in my world, in my work, like, I'm basically free all winter.
Yeah.
And so he quits his job, and we just started goose hunting together, but we were hunting like multiple days a week. Like, it was awesome having a buddy who had no job.
Totally.
It was like
Yeah.
it was like my best case scenario. Like,
For sure.
anytime I called him, he was dating his now wife, had no kids, whatever. Like, anytime we're like, want to go hunting? Yes. Huge into that. Like, it was always a yes. And so
Dependable.
And I wanted to take photos, right? So it was just like scout, hunt, scout, hunt, scout, hunt, scout, hunt.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
this is the only guy that could actually go with me that
Yeah,
much.
yeah.
And I wanted to go.
Yeah,
I was
so it
trying
was
to start
awesome.
a photography business.
So we hunted together that whole season, and then obviously through that season, we realized that hunting together, we fit together great. We both, agreed on the hunting, had the same style of hunting. Like, there was never arguments in the blind or arguments about this. It just worked really well. And we went through that whole hunting season together, and then, hung out. And now our wives are great friends. Like, our families are very, very close, and now we're partners in business. So
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, dude.
it worked out well. Yeah, it was fun.
Well, it doesn't
did.
hurt that your new best friend is also a world-class goose caller as well.
Yeah, he's very good on a bird whistle for sure.
Yeah.
Well, what is your
we're-
track record with that, Matt?
I mean,
I can tell you, he won't be modest about it, but go ahead.
track record. So
Let's see if he tells the truth.
that to me says, learned when I was a senior in high school, had a mentor. He was great, right? Great mentor. He was actually a county sheriff. He was the leader of the SWAT team. He was at the time colonel in the U.S. Army.
Yeah.
So he's very just like regiment. This is
Straight.
how you do it. If you don't do it this way, I'm telling you, it's not going to go right.
Straight to jail.
Yeah.
Yeah, straight to jail.
And it wasn't just about life. It was all about goose hunting. But he did play a significant role in like keeping me on track because I could have
Yeah.
easily dove off the rails.
Yeah.
But from a goose calling standpoint, I told him I want to get better at goose calling. He says, well, let me get you a call. We'll figure this out. As I started to learn the notes, which my very first call was a Big River Flock Talk. Do you guys know what that is? It's
Nope.
old wood call.
Flock talk.
Flock Talk, yep. Big
Never heard
River
of that
made
one.
it. Yep, it's a
Unreal.
wood one with a brass band. Up on the wall at Sportsman's, $20, whatever. Driving in the truck, trying to figure it out. That one day that I hit that first cluck, I called Randy and I tell him, I made my first cluck. He's like, well, hell yeah, do it about 1,000 more times and let's talk.
Yeah.
And so it was just like repetition. And we got to the point where he was like, wow, you're getting really good. You should try contest calling. It'll help make you a better caller. You got to think about it. This time it was 2004, 2003, 2004 timeframe,
Yeah. Yeah.
where contest calling was still a really big thing. If you're anybody, you're blown in contests and you're traveling to do it, right?
Totally.
Very different than today.
Yeah. Yeah.
However, it was the thing to do. And So I was getting over the phone coaching from Bill Saunders. He was the guy that was helping me out, as well as my on the ground mentor, Randy Southard. And they just started working with me, and I go to my very first contest, which was the Wisconsin State contest, which is very similar to Minnesota State, which is fairly competitive, right? Like there's good callers. Guys take it seriously.
Where are you from, Matt?
Wisconsin.
Okay.
Yep. And so I'm there at the Wisconsin State. I get third place the very first year. I decide that I think I got what it takes. Let's keep practicing and hit the road. And I started traveling to all of the, Midwest, upper Midwest type contests, which back then was like 6 or 7 different ones that you could tour around.
Burlington Game Fair, Wisconsin State. Isn't there Presley's?
Presley's, yep. And so their Sportsman's Warehouse used to host those big waterfowl weekends. They used to do them that was separate from the Wisconsin State.
Yeah.
And then, Game Fair here. Presley's. Rogers, I don't think was going back then. It could have been. Don't remember. It doesn't matter. So I just started traveling and trying to figure it out. This was in the days of Hunter Grounds won everything. If he was there, you're going to lose.
Yeah.
Field Hudnall was coming in second, right? Like that was the way it was. Field was going to come in second, and then there was like this battle for the bottom 3 in the top 5.
Yeah.
And that was like Wade Walling, those types of guys, right? Like in my opinion, and I'm biased, in my opinion, those were like truly glory years for contest calling. Like the contest calling competition was extremely stiff. You did not know like who was going to be in the top 5. And I really liked the bullpen. I really liked I'm making you yawn with my story.
No, I'm just tired. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Being in the sun all day.
Yeah.
And
I really enjoyed it. But what I'll say is that as I got better, I started hunting more. And as I started hunting more, I started to realize that there was a difference between contest calling and hunting calling.
Big time.
Yeah.
Huge difference. That I didn't know because I was just trying to level up, right? So I ended up coming to Game Fair in 2007. I won the Game Fair Open Goose, and Hunter didn't show up that year, but everybody else did. And so I had the opportunity to blow it in the final round with all the top guys, ended up pulling off the win by 1 point. And the truth is, never turned back. I just hit the ground running on hunting, and
that was your last time?
That was my departure.
No shit.
Yep.
It's a pretty kick-ass contest to win and call it, though.
I mean, we're here today, right? We're going to get to see the contest tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm really excited to show Brady the contest because, for me, although I placed in top 5 as we went, I never won anything prestigious up until then, and came here, felt really ready, had everything dialed in, won, and then
Close to home, too.
Ever since then, I just kind of been focused pretty much 100% on hunting.
What do you feel like is the biggest difference between contest and hunting calling?
The biggest difference, in my opinion, is a set scenario versus what actually happens. So reading birds.
Yeah.
Reading birds is by far the biggest difference. That never happens. That routine that you have to blow and the notes that are people pleasers don't always work, and you have to be able to make those adjustments on the fly.
Yeah.
So reading birds to me is still the number one difference.
Mm-hmm.
Now, as far as making the notes, yes, all the notes are great, but
yeah,
probably that, and working with whoever you're hunting with too, right? Like if there's primary callers, secondary callers, other callers, you're in a blind with 10 people and everybody wants to blow their goose call. Like somebody has to kind of guide and direct the traffic. And so
I feel like you're the guy to be like, hey, stop. Matt's calling.
We do for sure. But at times, Matt and I, we tend to hunt on exact opposite sides of the blind, right? So he'll be on the far right. I'm on the far left. I'm usually on the far left because I'm running a dog out of a dog hide. And so depending on the number of guys we're hunting with, we can have, 6 guys or 10 guys in the blind. So there's usually a pretty big gap in between us. And most people will generally rely on Matt primarily and me on that. But there are times when shit gets out of control and everybody just wants to blow their call, right? And Matt is good at being political in the blind at times.
Yeah.
He's like, well, let's just try being quiet.
I have a signature move in
Yeah.
that scenario. If anybody ever comes across a scenario like that, like let's just say you got a buddy from Kansas or whatever, and he just loves to rip on that damn thing.
Lesser caller.
And guess what? He doesn't know what the hell he's doing. He just makes noise. If you ever have somebody like that in the blind, walk out to the front of it, face the blind, and say, we're just going to try not calling. All of us. And look right at him. And then get back in the blind, wait for the flock to come, and see what happens if nobody calls. Like, do it. And then now you have regained control of the tempo. And now you, as the leader, can then work through.
Epic.
Work through it. And if it gets a little bit out of hand, do it again.
But to your point, yes. So then we'll get going, and Matt will be calling, and I'll like be running a secondary call, and then you'll hear people start like letting out a little note here or there or whatever. And then, yes, I am the guy that will look down the line and be like, bro, stop. He's like,
this
Matt's calling, you're calling. I'm like, yeah, it's time to just, it's not your time, bro.
And I'm totally down for people to call.
You're not that guy.
If it's working. And if you want to work a flock, like 100%, like let's work a flock. But let's read the flock and work the flock, not just like throw noise at them. Because at least where we hunt,
Yeah.
noise doesn't always work. Now, if you're hunting here, sometimes in those big, MIG days and stuff, like
traffic,
noise works.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The majority of the time for us, that's not the winning formula.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So just retaking control of the blind is really important sometimes because you can ruin a whole hunt that way.
100%. Well, just in North Dakota this week. Wow, it feels like it was last week.
Right.
Like birds weren't working super well. They're like, well, maybe it's this, maybe it's that. It's like, well, let's just go really simple on them. Literally, the first day they can be hunted in the country.
Yeah.
Let's just moan and cluck.
Yeah.
Let's just moan and cluck. And then everyone starts blowing their calls again. It's like, okay, well, let's stop moving the blind, one. And then two, they'd come in, they kind of see it, and they kind of lift up again. There was no flaring. And then they kind of go out, and I was like, stop calling, wait till I say. And I let them get like 100, 120 yards out, and then, Malik, 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 Malik. And they came all the way back, and they're like, oh, okay, well, you do the calling. It's like, sounds good.
Yeah, totally.
Great idea.
And you're hunting family groups of geese, right? I mean,
Yeah.
they're not just ripping.
No.
So,
But even late in the season, man, like it's not always the winning formula to just throw noise at them.
Yeah.
So I think as the leader of the team, if people are coming to hunt with you and you are the primary caller, it is on you to lead the team to success. And if something's going wrong, rein it back in.
Yeah.
We all want to blow our calls.
Right.
Everybody knows that. Let's work together.
It's honestly kind of savage of you too, where it's just like, all right, guys, why don't we just all stop calling for a bit, and you just like lock eyes with someone.
Dead-eye 'em.
Oh my god! If you did that to me, I'd be like, oh god, I'm just gonna put my lanyard back in my bag.
That's what I want.
This is that's exactly what I want you to do. Yeah,
It works. That's the whole point. Unbelievable. Guys, really quick, I just want to talk about one of our awesome sponsors, Outlaw Light. We're super pumped to be working with them. You can get it in Illinois, where I know a lot of you guys are listening to us at. And there's many other states. They're in 10 states right now and ever expanding as fast as they can make it. And the crazy thing is, Outlaw is doing this insane thing. They think it's a game, but I hope that they find out from you guys it's not funny. So what they're doing is, if you go take a picture of you with your case of beer at the liquor store, and you tag Midwest Flyways and Outlaw Beer on Instagram, they will reimburse your money for the beer. So hey, congratulations!
Is that
a
a
free
one-time
case of beer
thing?
on us. They have there's currently no expiration date.
Is that stories or post or is there
Story,
any regulation?
Instagram story. I'm sure
man.
post works too, but just literally an Instagram story, tagging us and Outlaw Beer. It's free.
Where's my phone?
Well,
So congrats.
I'm just saying, like, if you found a liquor store that had it, could you just make a few hot laps in and out?
that's honestly that was where my mind went
Right.
to.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly
Trying to
what.
beat the system.
Yeah,
Right.
you shouldn't have said that. Then it would have been like conjecture. Oh, I don't know, and then
Right.
yeah.
Do
so
it one
thanks,
time,
Brady.
everybody.
So I guess maybe just post Post a picture with your receipt in your hand. I don't know.
There you go.
Just hold the receipt with the box.
Yeah.
I like that.
'Kay.
That's really cool.
But literally, there's no reason to steal it, because you're going to get it for free anyway.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
No, he's saying like take a bunch of pictures and then.
I know
plan
what
it
he's
out.
saying.
Yeah.
I'm just saying you're already getting it for free.
True.
Also,
So
I
you're an
think-
asshole if you just don't get it for free. You just
Completely agree.
Yeah. I'm wondering, like, if you went to one store and they had it and you did the story and then you drove down the road to Joe's and you whipped in there and you're like, oh, shit, Outlaw Light. And you bought yourself a case of it and did another selfie.
Yep.
Do you get 2 checks in the mail?
As far I
Probably.
don't know. Right now there's no end. Yeah. As far as I know, yeah. Like if they have a problem with that, they should say something soon.
Somebody's got to find the bottom in it before we know.
Yeah.
The limit
Here's what we should do. If you guys do if there's like 100 of these in the next couple weeks, I'm sure we're gonna find out how many regulations they can put on it.
Okay.
Derek's going to be calling you, being like, I don't know, man.
I like
pull
it.
Trouble.
I need to pull that out.
I like it.
Unbelievable. So anyway, go get some Outlaw beer. Appreciate it.
It's great beer.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I want to hear some fun stories from you guys. You guys have any crazy stories? We can just get it out there right away. I just want to get the blood flowing. Tell me some crazy hunting stories. You been shot at?
Crazy hunting stories. We have a handful.
I have been shot at.
Yeah.
I was, This was not an ideal scenario on all levels. So I got an invite from a guy that I don't ever hear from. But we are the type of guys that we'll invite you a few times to come hunting, but if there's not reciprocation there, you're going to get invited on certain things, but not all of it, right? Mm-hmm. You're either in the crew or you're on the fringe.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So anyways, this is a guy that's on the fringe. And he hadn't called me all year, which is, was okay. We hadn't called him either. And all of a sudden I get this call out of the blue. He's like, hey, I got a banger duck shoot for tomorrow. I got one buddy. You want to come? I'm like, absolutely, I want to come. I check my schedule. I'm totally good to go. I'll see you there. So we meet at the gas station, roll into this field. Well, this field is right next to, I'm just going to say where it's at, kind of. This field is right next to a very well-known fishing spring creek that they charge money for to fish on, right? It's in Montana specifically, fishing is king, right?
100%.
Right.
And so I'm just like, golly, this feels like a little bit strange. We're right on this main highway and we're right next to this, legacy type piece that has been photographed for 50 years. And we're killing ducks that are coming off of this spring and going into this field.
Unreal.
I'm totally down if we got let's roll it.
Is it legal?
See what happens. It's
Yeah.
totally legal. Totally legal.
That would be
It's a
my
different
question.
property. It's
Yeah.
a different property. I did check all that.
Yeah.
And so we're out there, and we're set up in a fence line, and we're facing east. It was a cloudy day. Ducks start working. We start shooting. I think we were running 3 dozen honkers and some full body ducks. And so it's a fairly natural looking spread, but small, right?
Yeah.
And so we're sitting out there. The morning flight kind of dies down, and we see this Suburban, and it was this oil sheen color, like a black with purple swirl. Weird.
Yeah,
with
not good.
this this shitty
Custom job.
with this shitty at home DIY
Hell
tint
yes.
over the top of it all. And I'm watching this guy because we got no birds flying and we're kind of done at this point. And he's probably we're probably a half mile into the field, maybe a little less. And I'm looking at this guy and I put my binos on him and he's just stopped there, looking at us. I'm like, this is really strange. You guys see this? And they're like, yeah, I don't know. It's kind of weird. All of a sudden the door opens up. I'm like, oh, he's getting out. I don't know. Maybe he's going to check a mailbox up the road or maybe he's going to walk his dog or whatever. Well, he pulls out this rifle and he lays it across the front of the hood of the truck.
As one does.
And I don't even know if he aimed, but he just right out into the field at us. We shoot out of the blind. Hey, no. I mean, come on, guy. And he's gets back in his truck, hauls ass up, burns out on the way out.
Totally.
Yep.
Oh my
gone forever.
God.
You think he was just shooting at birds or what?
I mean, I don't think he was shooting at us, but I feel like there would have been a second shot, like a follow-up shot if he was shooting at us.
Well,
Get off
especially
my
once you stood up
property.
and became a bigger target.
Well, right.
Yeah, if you want to shoot,
I think he
that
was
the
shooting
time.
at birds in a field. He saw a bunch of birds and was like, I'm going to get myself a Christmas goose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys ever seen Tommy Boy?
Oh,
Where they go and tip cows, and the
Yeah,
guy
yeah.
comes out, get off my property. I always think of that.
that's awesome.
Oh yeah, that's the only time that I've actually been shot at, but it could have been lethal, right?
No shit.
Totally.
Scary, but good story. Anyway.
Well, that's like I was my first time hunting over DSDs. We were hidden super well. I can't remember if it was with Nick or with Joe or if it was with Tim Steele. I can't remember who I was with, but we're laying there and we see a truck right off the road. And we're like, "Who's that?" And every time I see a truck stop and like pull in the field, I'm like,
Never good.
what have we done wrong? What have we done wrong? You know? And all of a sudden, the window just rolls down and you just hear this like subsonic round. We're like, whoa, no. And we had one of those collared DSDs out. And it was just like definitely trying to shoot the collared goose. And I'm like, come on, dude.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Wow.
Like, you're,
crazy.
one,
Yeah.
you're going to go to jail.
Yeah.
2, you're going to kill someone.
Yeah.
3, just go hunting.
Yeah.
You know? God.
I never went hunting with that guy again.
Yeah, that was the last go. Yeah. We do have a really good story about getting permission one
Hell
time.
yeah.
So we were doing this film shoot in North Dakota, and it was a snow goose hunt in October. And we went with a few guys who were maybe not as committed as we were to the hunting. And Matt was doing some filming and photography. I was literally just there to help.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I'm just riding along, like, I'm going to come help on this shoot. It's going to be fun, yada, yada, go to North Dakota with the boys. Well, anyway, we get there, and we're just getting our asses whipped hunting. Like, the hunting was rough, right? And Matt and I, we do these hunts. We'd have a couple thousand decoys, socks, and whatever. And we're putting them out, picking them up, putting them out, picking them up every day. We're just tired.
Right.
And then day 3's rolling around, and we're like, we have got to find a good shoot. And so Matt and I hop in the truck, and we drive forever. And we find this field that is absolutely filthy loaded with snow
Yeah,
geese.
hell yes.
I'm like, oh, there we go. There's the mother lode, right? We finally found the spot. And so we look it up on OnX, and we're checking out who it is, whatever. And it's you know, it's like the classic story. It's like convoluted, right? Like, you got to call this person. You got to call this person. Well, anyway, I had made like a couple of phone calls, and I finally figure out that this one elderly woman is the one to talk to.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
And so, but I can't get her phone number. Well, I have White Pages Premium. And so I'm looking it up, and her phone number's not working. And so I'm going like to known addresses. So if you have White Pages Premium, you pay like whatever it is, $30 a year or whatever, and they give you like 20 premium unlocks. So I'm like, yep, cashing one in, boom. And I figure out this address, and it shows an address that is not the same address as on OnX. Mm-hmm. So then I'm reverse engineering this thing, and I'm like Googling the address. Well, it comes up to this nursing home.
Yes.
In North Dakota, and I'm like, perfect.
Oh
and by
my
now it's like 7:00 at night,
Oh, she in bed.
right? And I'm like, oh man, like the sun's still up, but like we got to get on the horn quick.
The other guys are at the bar drinking. They don't even care if we hunt.
Yeah, nobody even like, it's only Matt and I who give a shit about this thing. And I'm like, this is so weird. It's not even our hunt. And here I am like doing all this. Anyway, so I'm like, all right, here we go. So I Google up the nursing home, call the nursing home. Gatekeeper answers the phone. She's like, you know, Sunset Meadows, may I help you? And I'm like, yeah, I'm calling to talk to
Margie.
you know, Anne. And she's like, ooh, they're at dinner. Like we're just, everybody's just finishing dinner and going to bed. And I was like, oh yeah, no problem. And so I'm talking my way through this, which usually when we get permission, I'm the guy that like, I'm the point man on getting permission.
Yeah.
It's kind of my jam. Like, I
Yep.
really enjoy this, right? I work in sales for a living. And so finally, like, we're talking about the dinner. I'm like, well, how's dinner going? She's like, oh, everybody's had a good night. And I mean, I'm like asking what was for dinner.
Yeah.
I mean, it's getting intense with this gatekeeper. And I'm like, hey, listen, like, I know Anne's probably in her room and just getting ready for bed, but like I she's expecting a call from me. She's like, okay. And we're like 10 minutes into the call. Well, finally I get like, operator puts me through to Anne's room, and Anne answers the phone. Super nice lady. She's like, hello? I'm like, hey, Anne, it's Brady. How are you? Like, I didn't say, hi, Anne. My name is Brady Davis. I'm looking to hunt snow. I'm like, hey, Anne, it's Brady. How are you? She's like, well, hi, Brady. How are you? I'm like, how was dinner? She's like, oh, it was great. Got to hang out with my friends. And she's like talking about the nursing home soiree they had, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm asking about dinner, and I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, okay, it's time to pivot, right? Like we gotta get to this permission part. And I said, hey, we're here and we're up by so-and-so. And I gave her kind of the general area we were in. And I said, we're here doing some goose hunting and noticed you have a whole bunch of geese in your field. And we're wondering if it'd be okay if we hunted the field. And she asked me a question. She was like, have you talked to so-and-so, like Roy? And I'm not going to lie to her, right?
Right.
So I said, how is Roy? And she's like, Roy's doing good. I'm like, well, good. That's awesome to hear. Yeah, so we're just looking to hunt just tomorrow. Would that be okay? I didn't lie. She's like, yeah, I think that would be fine. Like you guys, that'd be fine. No problem. And so we go through this whole rodeo. We're like, all right, awesome. Hang up the phone, wish her good night, like thank her, the whole 9 yards. Mm-hmm. Super nice lady. And so Matt and I are just celebrating in the truck. We're like, we finally locked up the mother load.
Yes.
And this thing is stacked with 2-year-olds and juvies.
Dude,
this is the spot that we need to
It's
hunt.
full. And we're trying to get film and the whole thing. And so we're like on this dirt road, and there's another way back around the field, like back towards the direction we needed to go. So we're driving down the dirt road, and we go like a mile and a half, and sure shit, there's a truck parked with the binos up, glassing these geese, and we're like, oh, shit. So we stop, and we roll the window down, and they're like, hey, what are you guys doing? We're like, oh, we just talked to Ann. We're going to hunt here tomorrow. And the dude's like, yeah, sweet. We just talked to Roy.
Oh, shit.
We're going to hunt here tomorrow, too. I'm like, okay, interesting. So we talked about it. It was a mega field, and in the middle, it kind of had this, little draw in it. Had a little bit of a pond and kind of a wetland, kind of marshy area in the bottom, and then it's ag on the rest of it. And the guys were super cool. They're like, listen, dude, we're more interested. Like, what are you guys hunting? We said, we're hunting snow geese. And they're like, oh yeah, no problem. We want to kill ducks, and so we're going to hunt in the bottom. Which the way the field laid out, we're like, totally fine, whatever. And so we kind of worked out a plan. They were traveling. They were in town. They had rented an Airbnb. They're like, do you guys want to come to our house and have beers?
Nice.
We're like, duh.
Hell yeah.
So we went to their house, had some beers. They were super cool guys, right? Like everything was good.
Corn cobs.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Bush. And so we do that. We head back to the house. We tell the team, we're like, all right, you slackers who didn't scout or try at all, we have a hunt for tomorrow. Like, we're good to go. So we get up the next morning, whatever, freaking 2-3 in the morning, set a snow spread, do the whole thing. And we put in all this work, cameras, everybody's rolling. Like, we are ready to have the most epic footage of our life. Shooting light happens, and it was really cold, like colder than normal that morning. It was
like 14 degrees.
Yeah, it was cold. And so shooting light hits, and we're like, all right, any minute. And then we kind of do that like 1 hour wait, and birds aren't flying yet. We're like, it's no big deal. Like, we're just going to wait this out. Like, we're fully committed to this. We've got thousands of decoys out.
Yeah.
And it's like 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning, and we're sitting here, and all of a sudden, off in the distance, we hear the entire roost gets up. Somebody jump shot the roost.
Oh my god.
Jump shoots this roost. All the birds get up. And so what was funny is the video guy that was with us and another guy, like they were great at running a camera, have no idea about waterfowl hunting. And they're like, oh man, the birds are flying. Like, hot diggity. Like, we're in for it now, boys.
Yeah.
And Matt and I are sitting there and we're like, yeah. So about that, like, hunt's over.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, what are you talking about? Like, they're everywhere. We're like, yeah, dude, party's over. So
yeah.
Anyway, the moral, the ending of that story is epic getting permission story.
Unbelievable.
We killed 0 snow geese And the dudes down in the bottom that were duck hunting, they shot the ducks pretty good.
Did they really?
Yeah, they got them. And after the hunt, we met up with them and we taught them how to spatchcock a duck.
Really?
Yeah,
We did.
One of the guys we were with taught him how to spatchcock a duck, but it was awesome. We had a great hunt. Killed 0 snow geese, and
The entire trip killed no snow
no, we
geese?
killed 3
We killed 3
in 4 days.
Three
We
adults.
killed 3 adults in 4 days of hunting.
Dude, here's a great question for you guys.
Yeah,
Based off of that, okay, if you are an outdoor videographer, creator, whatever, and you are trying to get content and the birds or whatever suck, what's your, like, at that point, what are you guys focused on? Like, what are you doing about it?
I mean, I can tell you my perspective of what I see. So, Matt is like the creative, right? He's the media guy. And there's media guys with us. They also have like commercial clients, right? Like brands that they shoot for. So if the birds suck, what happens is it turns into a commercial photo shoot. It's product photos. It's, all kinds of stuff. It basically turns into that because there's nothing else you can do.
For sure.
But you're already out in the environment. Decoys are set up. Like everything is authentic and legit. So it in my opinion, it kind of turns into that a little bit. And then what you do on this particular hunt, everybody goes back to the lodge and goes to sleep. And then Matt and I go to work and work our asses off to try to find another hunt.
Yep.
That's the short answer to what happens.
In general, I would agree with that. And if you're out there, like, the birds don't always work, but if you have deliverables and you're a photographer or video guy, like whatever it is, I mean, you got to still get the shots because your client is still expecting you to come back with something because they're still paying the bill.
100%.
Right? Just like you want them to pay the bill.
Yep.
But you're not always going to get epics.
Yeah, man.
And so if epics are 10% of what you actually shoot, then the other 90 needs to get broke out into what do I need to get done, right?
Yeah.
So what is my objective? If my objective is to tell a story about this location, or my objective is to, build a personality profile around Cal or Joey or whoever, or take photos of this product or take photos of, this bag or whatever it is, you just got to go do it.
For sure, man.
And make it happen.
The other
I
thing,
don't like to fake it. So I don't like to let's pretend like it's going really well and laugh and smile and shit. It's not that. It's show it for what it is, trust it, make sure that the photos and the video is really good.
Yeah.
And move on to the next hunt.
Yeah, man.
the other thing is, like, in that moment, when I watch these guys work, and I've been with them for years, is those like commercial deliverables of product or people or whatever. That's a great time to knock those out, because tomorrow might be epic. And if it's epic, you don't want to be focused on taking a picture of the cuff of a pant or a bib.
Yes.
You want to be focused on like this badass hunt that's going on. But if you've already gotten all of the content and all the assets already knocked off the shot list the day before, when
everything's
it was slow,
just extra from there.
then when the hunt is going good, because you guys all know, I mean, if you go on a 3-4 day hunt and you're on the road, like, it's very normal to have a slow day, an okay day, and a great day.
For sure.
Right? We all want 3 great days, but let's be honest. I mean, it's usually low, medium, high.
For sure.
And so if on the low and medium days, these guys are knocking out those other shots that they need to get, then when the hunting is like fire and, it's fast paced, dogs are running, you're shooting, you're reloading, you get back in the blinds, people are yelling at each other, that's when you get the epic hunting shit.
Yep.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Yep. You just got to trust it, man. Use up the downtime, get all the shit that you need, and then focus on the epics that are happening when the epics are happening. Don't try to fake it. There's no reason to fake it.
You can tell when somebody's faking a photo too. It's so fascinating. Like, I get on Instagram and I look at these photos and I'm like, 100%. That is a dude shooting a gun who his buddy's like, hey, shoulder your shotgun and pull the trigger. I'm going to get this really cool shot.
Or how about this one? 100%. That goose has been dead for 3 fucking hours.
I was just going to say rigor mortis.
He's all rigged up.
Mortis.
His neck is to the side. The blood's all coagulated on his head. His wings are tucked in tight.
Yeah.
It's like, you can tell when a goose has died or a duck has died in the last 10 minutes. And beyond that, it is kind of up to the way you hang them, right?
Yeah.
But, I mean, if you're going to do it, get it in the moment, get into the position that you need to be in, If you didn't get the shot, remember for next time. Get it the next time.
I think that's what's so cool about our industry, like the hunting industry, is you can tell what's real. And so, like, the people who are getting constantly really good shots, they're just really good at what they do. Like, they are living in the moment. They're not like, do this 39 times, walk back 39 times. It's like, no, they're laying on the ground as you're going out to pick that bird up. Like, they're sprinting to the spot that they scoped out 2 hours ago, and they're like, oh, finally we shot birds. Just like slides into second base and
gets the shot.
You know,
one of the things that, like, when I first started hunting with Matt, and I'd never hunted with a guy who made his living doing photography, one of the things that I thought was so cool is the fact that we would go do like an entire hunt, and we're just like hunting buddies, and at the end of the hunt, he's showing me all these images that he got. And I'm like, son of a bitch, I didn't even know you were taking photos.
Yeah.
And looking back on that now and knowing what I know now, like, to me, that's a really good sign of a really good photographer, guy that's creating content, versus somebody who's staging everything and doing it. Is the guy that's shooting the photos is a hunter, so he actually knows what's going on in the hunt. You can tell that. It sticks out from a mile away. Like, is the guy shooting photos a hunter first? Because if he's a hunter, he knows where to get in. He knows what's going to happen. He can foresee things that are coming up. And then number two, he's just shooting those photos organically, right? Like, we have thousands of photos from hunts of ours where people are laughing or dogs are picking stuff up, and inevitably you end up with this really beautiful imagery and this really cool video and photo. But what's fun about hunting with guys like the Flying V team that we have now is that when they are doing it, you like straight up legit don't, if you're focused on the hunting, you don't even know what's going on. It's just at the end of the hunt, there's like, here's this really awesome stuff we got, but it's all so authentic and real, and the laughs are real, and the faces are real emotion, and the dogs are actually working. You know, you're not throwing a duck 5 times for a dog to go pick one up, which is super lame. And but it's really cool, and you can just tell that. You can feel it through the imagery, right? The whole idea of taking photos and videos hunting
to be in the moment
is to be in the moment, and then when somebody's watching that and consuming that content, the best photo to me as a guy who likes to look at them is one that when I look at it, like, I can feel like I was there.
Yeah.
Or I can understand what's going on.
Yeah, you're trying to be where they are at that time.
And if the guy's a hunter and he's shooting it from the right angle or this and that, you just know that that's real, right? Like, one of my things that I do not love is, like, you'll look at a picture of a decoy spread and then behind it's an A-frame and like 8 guys all up with their guns up in the air.
Yeah, it's not a real shot.
This dude is 100 yards out into the decoy facing us. That's not real, right? And that's just one example, but I think the best photo and video, and again, that's why these guys, you know, at Flying V are so good at what they do, because it just happens. Now, obviously, they have their own pre-planning and shot lists, and they make it all work together. But it's that, to me, is the best stuff.
Yeah.
I have my biggest piece of advice for somebody that's trying to get into it, like wants to be a photographer or videographer in the waterfowl industry specifically, is to go hunting more. Become a better hunter, and you will, if you already have the tech down, the skills down, go become a better hunter, so you can anticipate the movements, you can anticipate what's going to happen, you can put yourself in the right position, you know what's good, but you know what doesn't mess it up. Go learn how to hunt.
Totally.
And you will become a better photographer.
Yeah,
the skill set is really achievable by anybody if they just want to learn it, right?
Yeah.
You can get on YouTube, spend 6 hours on YouTube, you can learn how to run a camera.
Yeah.
You cannot spend 6 hours learning how to hunt.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah.
Even though we've tried through our educational content on YouTube, you just can't. Like,
you have to get the reps, right?
Well, and like with calling, right? Like you were saying earlier, the people that I really enjoy hunting with, like, I haven't hunted with Grady since I was a kid, but that dude knows when to call birds and what note to use. And I learned so much just from being there, like subconsciously, where it's like, why are you letting the birds get 100 yards out? And then it's just they hammer on it, or they just do the buzziest honk you've ever heard in your life. And it's like, what the hell was that? And then all of a sudden that goose just pigeon wings.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
whoa, dude.
Yeah.
That is so sick. But real quick, one more sponsor for you guys. I'm sure you guys use OnX, right?
Every day.
Absolutely.
I don't know how, like, obviously people kill a lot more birds now. So I would say, I mean, there were more birds back then. There's less birds now. But I feel like we see a lot more bigger hunts on Instagram. That's because people aren't scrolling through the plat maps.
Right.
Figure out who owns shit.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
And so, like, obviously OnX is great for that. But I don't know if you guys have noticed a new crop layer on OnX.
We have.
Yep.
It's unbelievable.
Yep.
You can essentially internet scout from the couch. Just be like, oh, we're going to go out to Saskatchewan, right? Let's find an area with a lot of water and a lot of corn because it's going to be early December. So, like, that's an energy food. Let's go and find the area with the most corn and the most water. Let's find a big body of water where, like, a roost could be, and let's find, like, the most corn.
Yeah.
That's insane to me.
Yeah.
Insane.
It's absolutely killer. I mean, I think that OnX in general has changed everything about hunting. Selfishly for us, I think it's changed it for the better by far, because I did hunt in the plat map days, and
It was awful.
yeah, that sucked, right?
Yes.
We would have never got a hold of Ann on this
No
on this
shit, yeah.
snow goose hunt. Like
No
we would have never even known how,
Absolutely
who, why,
no
or where.
chance.
We would have just cried sad little tears and drove away.
My God.
But in the end, we got to cry those sad little tears when the roost got jump shot. So
Yeah.
that was cool.
Now, at least you saw it.
We did get to see them,
saw
and
a bunch of birds?
there was a lot of them. Yeah, we got to see them all go straight up and then straight away.
The scout was good.
Oh yeah,
Scout was sick.
but yeah,
The vibes were really high at that point.
yeah.
So
Can't
just in
forget that.
case you guys were wondering, we do have a discount code for OnX. No idea what it is. It's right here on the banner. It's MWF25.
MWF 20.
MWF 20.
Every time we do this, like in the beginning, he kept saying MWF 30, and so it's like a test every time we
bad.
do it. Joe's
Yeah.
got to see.
It's
if he
real
can remember
bad.
it. But if you're watching the YouTube video, it is a banner right across your screen, so you can go use our discount code on OnX.
MWF20.
Get the elite membership, because then you get other discounts on other different companies as well.
And you need that membership anyway if you're gonna ever travel,
Correct.
Right.
which
Yep.
waterfowl hunters do.
Epic.
So you gotta have
And
it.
if they don't, they should.
Gotta have it.
Yeah, yeah, oh yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
So you
100%.
guys, you both worked for Sitka at one point, right?
I did not. No,
You didn't?
I was an
Matt did,
ambassador
though.
for Sitka Gear, and then Matt worked directly for and with them.
So that snow goose story you were telling, was that you trying to get the whites? Like
Yes.
stuff for the whites?
Yeah,
That's
that
what I
was in-
figured.
that was on one of the Nodak shoots. Yeah.
Yep.
Sure. So you guys are now with First Light, right? Or Flying V Solutions is with First Light. And why do you think that First Light is better than Sitka these days? Because you were obviously with them for a really long time.
I was with Sitka for a very long time.
Yeah, and
Great.
just tell us what you're excited about with
Yeah,
MeatEater and
yeah,
First
yeah.
Light and what you
Great.
guys are doing.
I mean, great group of guys over there. I
Yeah.
mean, I spent 10 years with Sitka Gear,
Yep.
and we did some incredible things. What I'm really excited about with the new MeatEater and First Light, Dave Smith decoys, kind of, all together
Ensemble.
as one family.
Yeah.
It creates a really unique opportunity for everybody, right? Especially them.
Yeah.
We make a living in helping brands and helping people tell their story and do it at the highest level. And those three coming together to bring forth a waterfowl, offering to the world, I think is going to be really, really cool. And we've had the opportunity to naturally, after, a lot of negotiation, figure out kind of like where they're at and where their minds are at long term, where they're at today, and then how they're going to get there. And that's where we're helping them, is in the middle of like, here's where you're at, here's where you want to go. Let's work on getting you there.
Yeah.
And
That's cool. Yeah.
and then from a product line standpoint, they got the steps in place. It's incredible shit.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
that's a hell of an opportunity, though, too, dude.
Totally.
Oh yeah.
That's insane. Like,
yeah.
you want to
Right.
get here? Let me help you get there. That's insane.
100%.
That's so cool. Is that based off of your guys' experience, like where you've been with other companies, or like how did that come to be?
Yeah. So historically, the track record is really good. We have a deep, deep knowledge of the waterfowl industry and the consumer, because we are the end consumer.
Right.
And
Well, you're real hunters.
exactly.
Right.
You're real hunters, yeah.
Yep, exactly. And so I believe that yes, to your point, I do think that the experience over the course of the last 10 years working deeply in this industry has brought MeatEater to us, which then we've now built a pretty incredible strategy. And those teams are really rock solid.
Yeah.
One thing that's really cool about them, so we've been in talks with these guys for a long time, right? And Matt and I had the opportunity, we went to Haley, Idaho, which is where First Light is based. That's their headquarters. Yep. And we got to go spend some time in there with the product development teams. And it was really interesting. We went into it, like we tried to go into it with an open mind, right? And this is before we'd even come to an agreement of let's just go look at the gear and just see where they're at and what's coming down the pipe. And it'll just be interesting to see, right? Like true open-mindedness. Yeah. And what was crazy is we went there and we spent the whole day. So their waterfowl product guy is a guy named Logan Williamson.
Yep.
Love him.
Who is a beauty of
He's
a guy. He's a beauty of a
Great
man.
dude.
But when we got in there and he showed us, okay, here's what we have now. Here is 2024. Here's some of 2025. And we went through every single product, every single aspect of the gear, the textiles, everything like that. When we walked out of there, I mean, we were both blown away. Like the stuff is absolutely legit.
Yep.
And I feel like First Light's vision of what they are planning and what they have in the pipeline to release coming out is so freaking cool. And it does solve real problems in waterfowl. You know, one thing I always look at it and I see people come out with products here and there, and it's not just clothing or apparel, it's decoys or gear or whatever. Well, so many times it's just like another one of this.
Yep.
It's just the same but different, right? And what
It's
I think
good
is
for the person, not for the bird.
Totally. What I think is really cool about First Light is they're very forward thinking. They're open-minded. They're willing to listen. So guys like you guys and us can actually communicate like, hey, here's what's going on, and it will happen. So we're super excited about that. The MeatEater side, the working with MeatEater, we're very excited to be working with them now. We are doing, so part of our contract and what we are doing is over the next 3 years, we are doing a 30-episode TV show.
And when you told me exactly how it's going and you're about to say it, I was so pumped.
Yeah.
I'm so excited to see how this is going.
Cool.
Yeah,
it's going to be so cool,
fun.
dude.
So,
Which, Brady, talk more, too, about the land management side of this stuff, too.
Yeah.
I know that's part of the TV show, right?
Yeah. So we're doing a 3-year, 30-episode TV show. What's fun is we have full creative control of what's on the show. So Matt and I get to decide who we hunt with, where we hunt with, what the topics are, everything. That we are not being told, you've got to go here, you've got to go
hunt
there.
with this ambassador.
No, it's not. Like we get to pick everything. What some people know, and a lot of people are learning now, is that a few years ago, Matt and I started another company called Flying V Ranches. And Flying V Ranches is a business that does a few things, but one of the main things that we're currently doing right now is we do land management, ranch management, and habitat restoration and habitat building for waterfowl. So we have people that own different places and they want to improve it for the waterfowl hunting. And so Matt and I come in and we do all kinds of things for them. We do, crop planning, consulting, spring creek restoration, ponds being dug. Like we kind of oversee turning this piece of property into something that's cool, but then, trying to turn it into Disneyland for ducks, right? So what's gonna be fun in the episodes is we're gonna be able to show these properties that we're working on
From start to finish.
And then show hunts on those properties. So
showing what you did.
You guys will show what you did and everything. Yeah.
Like 3 years from now, there's going to be episodes that we're showing content and stuff that we videoed this year.
Yes.
When the property is basically a blank slate.
Yeah.
And say, hey, here was step 1, 2, and 3. And our process and kind of our mindset in Flying V Ranches when we're working on a property, whether it's one we're doing for a client or whether it's a property that we are acquiring on our own and then improving with the intent to potentially sell down the road or to hold on our own. It's kind of a crawl, walk, run mentality, right? You can't just go in and turn it into perfect in 1 year.
I just have one request, okay? Because obviously you're going to have to name these properties for the TV show, right? Like this is Horseshoe Ranch. This is Duck Creek Plaza.
Sure.
This is Disney World and this is Disneyland.
Yeah.
I want to name one property for you.
Absolutely. They're like, no way.
What if on the properties you got to name like a hole? like a duck hole or something.
Totally.
Like that.
Hell yeah.
Totally.
I'm into that.
Like
Wait.
this is
I'm way into that.
You know what you guys could do too? You could do a giveaway. Let somebody name a hole.
So you know what's funny, talking about giveaways, I don't know if you guys ever followed along or people listening have, but years ago, Matt and I did a program called Freelance Honkers.
yeah, you didn't pick me. Yeah, you didn't pick me.
We did not.
We didn't.
So that's pretty cool.
Your name was on the board though.
Yeah.
You were
whatever.
on the short list.
Whatever, dude.
Short list.
Don't care.
So that was the thing we did because
Yeah.
we always get these people reaching out on social media like wanting to come and hunt.
Yeah.
And so it was just kind of a way like, hey, we're going to do this. It was just Matt and I's deal. Like, let's do this thing. People are going to make a video, tell us why we should pick them, and we're going to pick a couple guys. And they would come out and hunt with us. It was like a true freelance hunt. Like, we didn't have leases. We weren't doing it. It was like, you fly to Montana. We will pick you up from the airport. And from there, we all split costs, and we're going to go hunting. And we did it a few times. It was absolutely awesome. We had the most fun ever. We haven't done it in the past few seasons because we've been so busy doing what we're doing on Flying V ranches and everything else.
Right.
However, we have talked about resurrecting freelance honkers. So
We're gonna fire it back up.
stay tuned.
Hell yeah.
But it
We'll
was
get picked again. And that's fine.
It was a fun program. Well, now that we know you, we probably could just do like a friend hunt sometime.
Maybe you guys are the special guests.
You know what, dude?
Ooh.
I don't even want to go.
Okay,
I don't
great.
even want to go.
Yeah.
That's great.
I think
because
it's good
I was
to know
thinking the same thing.
because we were just being polite. So it's good to
Oh my god.
it's good to make a blacklist right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's good to know that he doesn't want to go, so we don't have to feel obligated to call him.
I just want to name a
Blacklist.
hole, dude.
Joey.
I just want to name a hole.
Yeah.
Have your son fly me over the hole,
Yeah.
and I'll be like, dick out Duck Plaza.
There you go.
You know?
There you go.
Yeah, we're down.
I love that.
We're down.
DODD.
Dude, Trey,
Yeah.
Trey
DODP.
flies planes.
He does. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
My son's a pilot. And
That's so cool.
we can fly over the duck holes
Yeah.
and you can name it.
But
Once.
can't hunt it the same day.
No.
No,
No.
definitely not.
No. So, but yeah, if you guys come out and visit, we'll do a flight. We'll do some scouting. We'll have some fun. Trey will fly us. It's a great time. And then we can rock and roll from there.
It's unbelievable. I know we have a couple more questions for you guys, but we're super proud to say that this podcast is also sponsored by First Light. And one of my favorite First Light pieces right now is the rugged wool hoodie.
It's legit.
I love
lit.
it because it's just brown, so I love to wear it wherever. But it's super comfy, and it's got a really I know we say it every time. Say it.
Duro.
A very durable
Duro.
wool
Hard.
that you guys are going to want to check out. So go to firstlight.com and look at that.
Yeah.
You know what my favorite piece is?
Please tell me.
Furnace hoodie.
Yeah.
It's dope.
That
First
is
hoodie is
sick.
dope.
Can I say something I'm super stoked about?
Yes.
Is the straight line jacket and vest.
Mm-hmm. I got one right
Joey
there.
was just
Level
wearing it
10.
in North Dakota.
Yeah, it's an awesome piece. Talking about the rugged wool, one thing that I think so cool is, so for years, First Light's been big in the big game world, right? Especially out west where we live. Like it's been a thing for over 10 years. Like they're a really, really strong brand. Their claim to fame has always been wool.
Yeah.
Like
absolutely.
they dominate the wool game.
Yep.
And while we all love technical gear and technical apparel, it is really cool to see this resurgence and for lack of a better term, readoption of wool. Because let's be honest, boys, wool kicks ass.
It sure does.
I mean, it truly does.
God made it for a reason.
It doesn't stink. It keeps you warm, even when you're wet, yada, yada. We all know the reasons why.
It's naturally wicking.
Totally.
Get out.
But the
That's
stuff
insane.
that
Retains its warmth.
those products they're making, the rugged wool stuff, is level 10, and I'm just counting down the
Best
days
base
for
layers.
cold weather when we
You know what's amazing about you, Brady, that probably a lot of people don't know is your idioms are just off the
No
hook.
doubt, dude.
Your idioms are just off the hook.
Absolutely.
When we were at game for earlier today, what did you say to Scott? Oh my God, this is going to drive me nuts. But you said something that was just so off the wall that no one has ever thought of. But
the
you're saying
one-liners?
but you're saying it like it's it's hotter than a whorehouse on nickel night.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah.
But you're
Yeah.
saying something obscene and you're
Oh,
just
yeah.
like straight faced,
Yeah, they just
not
come-
laughing after you say it either. Like it's a common.
They just come to me.
Yeah,
It's
'cause
amazing.
The thing is,
It
the
just-
ones I hear you say, I've never heard before.
It just pops into my head.
So
and-
they're originals.
Yeah, and one thing that people will learn about me if you haven't spent much time around me is I tend to just say what I think. Like
Yeah.
I'm not dumb, but
Could be a problem.
well, you got to know your audience, right? You got to read the room,
Very
so
important.
to speak.
Yeah.
But I mean, one-liners are the best.
You are willing to cross the line to find the line, though.
Well, the only way you know where the
big
line
time.
is to cross it and then read Joey's face, and you're like,
Back
beep,
up.
beep, beep, baby, back up the bus. Like, we got a problem here. But you got to do it. I mean, you gotta try.
you have to test the waters.
Yeah.
You have to-
I did that a lot with my wife when we were dating,
Yeah,
and so that was cool.
and it worked out.
In the end, yes, there were some tense moments for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. Right.
She grew up very differently than I did, so it was a fun experiment to
100%.
test my material on her.
I have a great question for you guys. I think it pertains to you guys so much. So one of the things that we, like I think that Joey and I think about a lot is sort of this aspect of social media, right? Because social media has absolutely changed hunting.
Mm-hmm.
But I think for us, it's one of those things that I think you hate what you know that it does. But I think we also realize that it is where you can reach people where they're at right now.
Yeah.
And getting people into something that we're so in love with and passionate about and care so much about is the only way to keep it alive. So it's sort of this necessary evil. But from your guys' perspective, like, how has hunting changed because of social media?
Yeah.
What's good and bad and some of the ins and outs of that.
Yeah. I look at social media, and I don't love calling it a necessary evil. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
And the reason I'll say that is if I look at the last 15 years of my life, some of my strongest friendships and acquaintances and people that I truly love dearly have come from social media.
Same.
For me, the benefit of social media is you can already tell a little bit when you watch somebody's social media if they're posting authentically, right, and truly sharing who they are.
Yeah.
You can tell, like, I'm probably going to like this guy.
Yeah.
And then what happens is when that opportunity does come, and because we're all spread out all over the country, right? We live in Montana, and I mean, you guys are in Minnesota, right?
Yep.
But we can meet you guys, and we already have some common ground.
Yeah.
The truth is we probably have some inside jokes. We already know some stuff about each other. For example, Matt and I coming into this, we already know you and Joey's dynamic, right? So it's kind of fun,
100%.
right? You know that my son is a pilot. Like, has nothing to do with hunting. That's just one thing, right? Like, we already
it's a
are
facet of
building
it.
that relationship and common ground. So for me, I think social media overall is absolutely awesome.
Yeah.
And I know that there's a bunch of people that are going to listen to this and disagree with everything that I'm saying. I don't care.
For sure.
Because I think social media, if used correctly, is awesome. Now, no doubt, there's a whole pile of people out there that are douche canoes.
Yeah.
And it's all ego-driven and self-centered and look how cool I am and yada, yada, yada. Nobody's into that, right? But for me personally, I think how hunting has changed, how social media has changed hunting, I can only speak to my personal experience.
Yeah.
And social media has changed hunting for me for the better significantly.
For sure.
Because it does a few things. Number one, it introduces me to people and helps me make new friendships. And number two, it connects us all as a community. I feel like hunters get to be connected, which as a human, we all love to be connected, right? We love tribes. We've been doing tribes for millions of years.
Yeah.
And number three, it also keeps me fired up.
Yeah.
Like, we hunt a lot during the season. We hunt a lot of days, more than some people are probably blessed to have the opportunity to hunt. But I promise you, on the days that I'm not hunting, I want to be hunting. And so I love scrolling through social media and seeing that you boys had a banger shoot.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys had a hammer shoot, or Joey did
on
this week,
Tuesday,
and I loved it for you, and I hated that I wasn't there.
Yeah.
But I did love it for you. But like, seeing that for me just fires me up, right? Like,
You're ready to go do it yourself.
I'm ready to go do it myself. It just keeps me fired up, right? And when I was a kid and I was into hunting, like, I was the teenager that like subscribed to like 15 different magazines.
Yeah.
Because I
wanna
just
see it
love
all.
reading and learning and seeing hunting pictures, whether it's big game or hound hunting for lions and bears, which is what I grew up doing, or coon hunting or whatever. Now waterfowl. Like, it just fires you up. So for me, I know that's a long answer to a short question, Cal.
It's a great
For
answer.
me personally, I would rank social media as being a huge benefit in my life. Again, I can only talk to me.
yeah.
And we all know that there's negatives to it, but there's negatives to everything in life. Right?
Right.
There's
Definitely.
weirdos in every group. There's people that are egotistical and self-serving in every group. And so for me, huge 10 out of 10 on social media.
Yeah, I think for me, like from where I'm coming from, the evil of it, right? And the whole thing I think a lot of people get frustrated about is they don't want kids to think, like young guys that are getting into it, that if you're not shooting a pile of birds or if you're not posting cool pictures on Instagram or don't have a photographer just taking photos of you, that like it's not as cool what you're doing. You know what I mean? Or feeling like they're not good.
Or you're a failure.
Type of thing. Right. Or you're a failure.
One of the things that I love about our hunting crew, and, you know, Matt and the team are, you know, and I'm biased, they're world class. Like I would argue they're the best at getting waterfowl content.
Yeah.
If you look at Matt's social media page and my social media page on Instagram,
his wife fishing.
We're not posting pile photos.
True.
Like
Very few.
The pile photos for us don't matter whether we killed 5 or 50.
Yeah.
What I cared about, and I know this sounds a little bit altruistic, but it's the people that I got to spend time with in the field.
Absolutely.
It's you know, Matt and I got to spend a day in the field, and maybe my son Trey was there with his couple of high school buddies and a couple of our other buddies. Like the truth is, that's what we remember, right? I don't remember, unless you're Joey and you go kill 15 bands in one shoot, you're going to remember that. But the truth is, you know, Matt and I in our office the other day, we were talking about, we made this kind of collage of all these photos. And because we don't post pile photos on social media, we're like, we should go through and pick like a whole number of pile photos. And we just have these like little, what are they, like 6x4, 7x8 photos.
Hell yeah.
And we have like 50 of them in our office.
You guys got to look through this.
They're all framed and
wait to
on the
look
wall.
through that. Yeah.
And it was so funny because you guys know, like you forget shit, right? And I forget this hunt or that hunt. As we were scrolling through these photos and getting them printed, every single one that I saw, I was like, holy crap, I remember that hunt. We're looking at 50 pile photos, and I'm here to tell you, I did not, when I thought about those hunts, not one time was it about that it was a banger hunt.
Yeah.
It was always looking at the group and being like, man, you remember when so-and-so did this? Or we're like instantly remembering the inside jokes. You remember when Dane said this funny shit? We were all laughing about it. Like the birds are there, right? There's a whole pile of dead ducks or geese. That's great. But instantly we started talking about our memories, and it jogs your memory of what happened.
Right.
So
No, it's
dude.
Him
It's all these
and
photos.
him and I have talked about this quite a bit on the podcast, but there's a couple of pile photos up there, of course. But like this photo of Nick Johnson right here, worst guided hunt I've ever done in my life. Like by far, that was like made me want to stop and never guide ever again.
Yeah.
Because the clients were awful, the situation was awful, the birds were out of their frickin' mind.
Yeah.
Like 30,000 ducks migrated that morning, and they wanted right here.
that's awesome.
Never would have happened, whatever. But the clients sucked. But like I was hunting with Nick J. He asked me to come and help him guide. I'm like, cool. He's like, can we use your boat? I'm like, sure. And from then on, it was just like an absolute shit show.
Yeah.
And like, whatever. But at the same time, we shot stud cans. We shot lessers in Minnesota.
Yeah.
Lessers.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen.
No.
And like,
And here's the deal. In 10 years, when you and Nick J are sitting at a bar, you're going to talk about that, and it's going to be awesome.
well, you heard him today, right?
Yeah, well, yeah.
He's like, look at how far we've come from when I met you on a goose calling lesson. And
Totally.
then immediately that spring, I brought you out snow goose hunting with us. And it's just like ridiculous.
So
like
this
our
is-
friendship is nonsense.
This is my point, right?
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
with
dude.
the stuff that gets posted, and I don't judge anybody. If you want to post a pile pic and you're pumped that you killed a limit before 9 o'clock, good on you, dude.
Yeah.
Like that's awesome. The truth is, I think that if social media is used for the positive, it is truly a positive. And again, I can only talk to my own experience, but if I were to list off like the 15 people that I want to spend the most time with at this point in my life, because social media has been around for so long, I'm telling you, man, half of them or more were connections and friendships that were originally
Like
forged
Instagram.
on social media.
Unreal. Yeah, dude. I mean, we would probably.
One of our best friends
Yeah.
and business partners outside of Midwest Flyways is Wade Shoemaker. We met him on Instagram.
Dude.
Yeah.
Comes to
met
game
him on
fair,
Instagram.
and we go, hey, man, what do you do in the morning? We're going pigeon hunting. He's like, well, I don't have a gun. It's like, well, I got a gun for you. He's like, no, I'll just take pictures.
Yeah.
Went right next door here and shot like 40 to 60 pigeons.
Yeah, it was like 50 plus.
And
We just
I
had a
did-
fun pigeon shoot.
It just came up on my memories last week. And I'm like, that was our first time meeting.
Yeah.
And hanging out was at 5 a.m.
So
on the farm right next door for me.
This is my point. So I started talking to Wade, and we got connected through people on social media like 8 years ago.
Yeah.
Probably 7 or 8 years ago. And we had a group text message, and I'd never even met Wade. Well, this has gone on. I still have not hunted with Wade ever.
Yeah.
But
Really?
we have become really good friends. We message about our families. When Wade and his wife started having kids,
Right.
I was level 10 on that, super pumped up on that. And
Level 10.
Level 10.
a level
Laser
frickin'
focused.
10, dude. Having kids is the best, by the way, but I digress. And to this day, I've still never hunted with Wade, but when I saw him today at Game Fair,
Yeah.
like that's a dude that I go up and I give him a hug, and I
Yeah.
promise you I am genuinely pumped to see him.
yeah.
These are the
dude.
benefits of social media. If
Because you would have never met Wade.
I would have never even known who Wade lives in freaking Louisiana.
For
Yeah.
sure.
Like, how the hell's a guy
He's on stilts down south.
How's a guy in Montana going to meet a guy in Louisiana? Well, you're
Instagram.
not, except for social media.
Yeah.
And so,
Completely agree.
and even though, Matt and I met through SoundGear originally, the reason we were able to meet is because people knew us, and we got put together because of, again, to some level, social media. And so now I look at it, and now I have one of my best friends, a business partner, somebody that I trust at a high level. We're in businesses and multiple businesses now, and you look at it and you're like, you'd have a hard time convincing me that it's a negative thing.
Yeah, no doubt, man.
So I know that's I'm
No, that's
off
a
my
great-
soapbox about it, but
No.
I know people always talk about social media and how it's ruined hunting. They're full of shit. If you use it correctly and you meet the right people, they are full of shit.
Hell
it is
yeah.
an awesome tool.
It
a
all
great
has to
answer.
do with intent.
For sure.
What are you using it for?
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I mean,
anything
you're
in
using
life.
it to make money.
Absolutely.
Right.
Why wouldn't you?
Right. Well, I mean, we do too.
I mean, think about all of the benefits that Brady is talking about and we can all agree upon when it comes to friendships and it comes to meeting new people and finding, common ground with people that you would have never known are even there. And then if you can find a way to monetize that, like that's pretty cool,
Hell
right?
yeah.
You still get to be there for all that stuff. And I understand that people do talk shit about, hunting photographers, waterfowl hunting photographers. We get a lot of hate on that where
Why?
we're at. People feel like because you have a photographer, you're giving up a location or you are exposing some place that wouldn't have otherwise been exposed.
Or
You're
that you're
letting
just
the
out there
secret
for the
out.
content.
Yeah, and that's certainly, we don't ever get blamed for that. We get
Sure.
blamed for exposing things that shouldn't be exposed, right?
Yeah.
And I would argue that we do a damn good job of not doing that. However, people do know that we live in the West and, we hunt in a handful of states, 3, 4, 5 states over the course of the season.
Yeah.
And that's okay. But we have found a way to make a living at it. And a lot of guys are figuring out ways to at least make some money
Yeah, man.
off of social media, which is all great, right? Like,
Hell yeah.
it just pushes us to do this more and spend more time with our pals.
We love capitalism,
Definitely.
time.
right? It's America.
Big
And
left
so
wing. Big
anybody-
left wing guys.
Anybody that would say that, making money from social media is bad has never, ever in their life taken a single marketing class in their life. Like every business advertises on everything, whether you're buying Kleenex, toilet paper, dish soap, or hunting gear.
No doubt.
Like whatever, right? It's just, that's how the world works now. But again, I think if used correctly, it's in my hunting career, the biggest benefit that I've ever experienced, other than the time in the blind with friends, is the connections made possible through social media.
Yeah, man.
I got a really good question for you that I actually am really genuinely wanting to hear what you guys have to say. So, like, we obviously went out to North Dakota and killed the shit out of the geese, shot a bunch of bands and whatever. When people are asking you, where were you? What's your go-to? Because people are genuinely asking, and it doesn't feel like I'm going to go and hunt your spot. It doesn't feel like that. But what do you guys say, like when you're in a non-discrete area and you're just like, dude, I don't want to give out that area? How do you nicely say, I'm not going to fucking say that to you?
I'm sure we both have thoughts on this. What I can tell you is I'm pretty certain Matt and I handle this differently. So
Yeah, my
You can go
situation
first.
is I just tell them what flyway I'm in, and you can guess from there.
That
I mean, it's just a way that I can
Oh,
just
but dude, we're neighbors. Like, where were you hunting?
oh, it's neighbor.
No, but I'm just saying, like, because like even at Game Fair, they're like, I was in North Dakota. Where were you?
Yeah.
It's like, but I can't tell you. Like I was sworn to secrecy. I can't.
Okay,
say.
so in that scenario, we would say Western. Split it into thirds.
Sure. Yeah.
Right? You can also split it into north
even
and
quarters.
south. North and south.
Northwestern North Dakota, southeastern North Dakota.
That was Northwest. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean
Northwest North Dakota.
Yeah, we tend to say in the North Dakota thing, Western North Dakota.
Mm-hmm.
Because what does that rule out? It rules out Fargo, which is where the majority of people go.
Right.
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 From our area, for sure.
Well, I mean, yeah.
It's a stone.
Blue platers tend to just like
Shit.
roll
Barely
in
get
and
across the border.
roll in.
Blue platers just roll everywhere.
That's
Ruin
right,
it.
buddy.
Just
Hell
kidding.
It's true.
Love you, boys.
It's true, dude. Whenever I
true.
go,
Yeah, we do love you.
here's a tip for everyone here too. If you're a blue plater like me and people just hate you because of where you're from, when you roll up to someone's home to get permission, adjacent
Parallel park.
no, a park adjacent to them so they can't look down the driveway and see what your plates are.
Yeah.
No shit.
So I would tell you, Joey,
Walk a half mile if you have to, brother.
It's a solid tip.
my
I'm telling
answer
you.
to that question is it depends. And what I will say is, like, if I get a random message, which we get them all the time, and I look it up and it's like some high school kid or young college kid that's like genuinely wanting to do the thing, like I'll look at the profile, and if it's a young dude, I'm like, listen, man, like I'm not going to give him the exact spot or the field, but the truth is I'll probably give him a pretty good idea of where we're at.
Oh, so you're
Like,
generous.
like close big city.
Yeah.
That does happen.
Yeah, because listen, man, like I got into waterfowl, I grew up as a hunter, avid hunter my whole life, but I got into waterfowl when I was 22 years old.
Yeah.
So I was new to this too, and I knew nothing. And luckily there were some people that did throw me a bone
Yeah.
and help me out to
Yeah,
some
no
level,
doubt.
whether it was for calling or decoying or hiding or dog work or anything. And so I am, I'm going to use some judgment, right? Now, if it's just like somebody that like kills them all the time and, he's from this state and he wants to come out to Montana and hunt, I'm going to say, we're on the west side of the state or the east side of the state or northern Montana or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
I would say that
if it's a younger guy or somebody that I feel like or I interpret as having like truly asking for help, there's a difference in asking for help and asking for a spot.
Yeah.
Asking for a spot's kind of a dick move.
Yeah.
But a lot of people that are asking for the spot don't know that. They're
Right,
just
right.
genuinely asking for help.
For sure.
The way they word it, guys like us who hunt a lot might be like, who the hell would ask that question? Well, the truth is he doesn't know that that's like a taboo thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So listen, don't be a dick. Help the dude out.
Well,
give
you
him,
can
give
you
him
can
a
be
general
like,
starting point.
exactly, man. You could say like, "Hey, man, you need to head a couple hours west," or
100%.
"Where are you right now? You need to get about an hour west, dude."
Yeah.
And start
Yeah,
looking
yeah.
north and south. Like you can be like that.
it's very
without-
situational, right?
And at the end of the day, we're not really threatened like on our spots per se.
Yeah.
We do a metric shit ton of true freelancing.
Yeah.
And so as a result, I'm confident that I can get permission
Fuck yeah, man.
better than anybody else.
That's what
I know
I'm
that
saying.
sounds arrogant, but I'm telling you, I'm damn good at getting permission. I don't care if we roll in and there's other trucks and trailers in the area scouting. Guess what? If I get to that person's front door,
Papa's getting perm.
I promise
right.
you, I'm going to win.
Hell yeah.
He's going to end up with an apron on cooking apple pies for 2
You know what, dude?
hours.
Which
I'm
I
not
have
gonna
done.
lie.
Does that happen?
Oh, yeah.
You
On
you
our
cooked
best
an apple pie.
potentially our best hunt we've ever had together.
It was the best hunt.
It is very cool to like see your guys' dynamic and how much it reminds me somewhat of what we do too, because Joey's permission guy.
Yeah.
And like I don't know how he does it, but you could get a no and Joey go up there and it'll be 30 minutes. And we're coming back tomorrow to fix this guy's roof and like, move
Yeah,
some
you bet.
lawn equipment or something,
Been
but
there.
we're hunting that field.
I
Well,
always
And
bring,
it's just so weird. It's like just reminding me so much.
Yeah.
dude. I always bring my pouch with like every kind of fastener in it, an impact, hammer, flat bar, whatever, in a socket set,
Little caulk gun.
and I'll be able to fix anything.
Yeah.
So here's one tip for you then, if, because I too hang with a roofer.
Yeah.
You just go ahead and offer up his services when you go to the door.
Yeah. The problem is I'm a carpenter, so he's very much like, yeah, and he's a carpenter too. So, it's like,
Yeah, of course.
okay, here we
To
go.
me, that's like the perfect version of a good hunting partnership, though,
Hell yeah.
right? Like everybody has their strengths,
Yes.
right? I say this all the time. Nobody will analyze the decoy spread or the calling more than Matt. I can absolutely set a decoy spread. I can call geese. I do it all the time. But nobody analyzes at a nerd level higher than Matt. And I say that as a term of endearment.
Right.
But there are other things that I am really, really good at, like
Yeah.
getting permission. And I'm the dog guy. And,
Led.
Led, my dog. Great name for a dog, by the way.
That's pretty cool.
It's the only lead we can legally use in the field. So that was actually Matt's idea to name him Lead. And so,
Unbelievable. It's a sick name.
again, a good partnership, right? Like y'all have strengths and weaknesses. And if you guys are comfortable, like in your manhood,
Yep.
let the dude who's good at something elevate that. Like, I want you to do what you are good. It's no different than in business. If you hire an employee, you're not trying to hire everybody to be great at everything.
Right.
You want this guy who's a great bookkeeper. Like, he should be the bookkeeper. Let's not make
Hell
him the
yes.
sales guy.
No shit.
Right. And the sales guy, don't put that dude in charge of graphic design.
Right.
He's a great sales guy. Keep him selling.
Yeah.
And so one thing that I feel like we have done a really good job at, and it's helped our team and our crew, is we all know each other's strengths and weaknesses, and we let each other operate in those strengths. And then we like to make fun of and exploit each other's weaknesses.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
As
Well, of
good
course.
as good pals do. But
You have to.
my point is like, if I'm really good at getting permission, like absolutely I'll be the one to go to the door.
Yeah.
Right? I talk to people for a living.
No, it's amazing though, because we're the same way in that sense. Like Joey knows that, like, in terms of being like annoyingly organized and knowing what we could happen next, and it's not like it has to, but like me having the plan of like, here's the things that
Dude,
could happen.
he's unbearable.
Honestly though, man, like at the end of the day, it's a great thing because I want to focus on those details, what I can control. And what I don't need to deal with is somebody needing to be entertained or like dealing with this or that. And Joey is unbelievable.
Yeah.
So I know, like, going into a room, I don't have to entertain anybody.
Mm-hmm.
I just have to make sure that Joey's got this and we've got this set up and we're going to be good. And here's like 3 alternative options. And then from there, dude, like, he'll keep him happy.
Yeah.
You and I are very similar in
Yeah.
that standpoint.
Very, very similar to us, and we joke about it all the time, but
Cal's a narc.
That's not true. That's not true. That's
I
too
am
far.
not.
Matt is actually
That's too
not
far,
a narc.
dude. That's too far. That's fucked up.
Matt knows more about me than anybody on the planet.
Same with Joey.
Legitimately.
I just had to
was
zing
bogus.
him. I just had to zing him.
If me and Matt ever break up, I'm ruined. Like, you just put a fork in me and I'll just disappear into the abyss because he knows some shit
Right.
that would
We've
would
known
be
each other since
truly-
we were
and vice
6.
versa.
would be
Right.
truly
Yeah,
harmful.
Yeah. No, we've known each other since we were 6.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, what I think is really
And
cool
we
about-
haven't, but we've made up for lost time.
That's right.
Yeah. One thing I think is really cool about that, seeing your guys' relationship and how it relates to ours, is how important it is to actually pick your hunting partners with intent, right? Like,
Damn,
you
this is
have
crazy.
to pick your
100%.
hunting partners that are going to help the cause. Right?
I did a
We're all
10-minute
doing it.
Tuesday on this last week.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, are you hunting with the right people?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, and I won't dive into it too far, but it does matter. There are roles that can make something more efficient, and the team matters. If everybody's there to make the team win, then you're doing good, right? But keep people in their lane, find the right
Yeah,
people,
man.
have a good time.
And give him shit for being good at it, He's going to give me shit for bringing him toilet paper.
Yeah.
But I know I need to bring it for him.
I don't do that for Brady, but I do get shit. I do get shit for being good at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I'll
But
just
it's
rip
like
off
I
a
give him
sleeve.
shit in an enduring way or endearing way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? Like I genuinely
Doesn't feel that way sometimes.
That's the point. I genuinely
you
appreciate
have to feel
how
like shit.
good Matt is, right?
Yeah,
and I've
yeah.
said this to people. I am convinced, and I've hunted with a lot of people, Matt is one of, if not the best goose hunter that I've ever hunted with.
Yeah.
Whether it comes to calling or decoying, like he will nerd out at the highest level. That's great, right? Can everybody else kill geese on their own? Yes, at the highest level. But what he's good at and what fires him up is different than what might fire up this other guy,
Right.
or this guy, or me, or whatever.
Totally.
So you build that team, and then the whole experience is awesome.
Yeah.
And so I
Hell yeah,
I think
man.
it's awesome.
You just got to have fun and have a good hunt.
No
like
doubt.
that's the winning formula.
Oh shit.
And having a good
awesome
hunt
time.
doesn't always mean birds.
Right.
And it doesn't always mean you're having fun.
Right.
No.
That's what matters.
Yep.
Yeah.
If you're trying, you're doing everything you can, and it doesn't work, well, then it doesn't work. Guess what? We had fun. And we tried.
Totally.
Let's have a beer.
Right.
Carter, you want to cut some outro music? This is our outro music. The thing is, like, you can't. Joey will tell you, you can't be
Mariachi
mad
band.
listening to this music.
I just instantly got happier, actually.
Yeah.
Dude,
I
I'm
know.
thinking about ordering.
You kind of want a margarita?
I'm thinking about ordering a number 7 with ground beef.
There you go.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. 2 tacos.
We
a
have
little
a
tequila.
Couple
have
of fajitas.
Mexican
no
joint
doubt.
that we do lunch at all the time, and every time they've got a lunch menu, we all order the exact same thing. They come in like, would you like a menu? Or like, trust us, we got this.
Yeah. We're pretty good at this. So I
I'm a
wouldn't worry
number
about it.
10, Matt's a number 7, Dane's a Montana burrito. End of story. Like we don't even need your goddamn menu.
You guys, do you guys know who Becky G is?
No,
Super hot Hispanic singer.
I love her.
I'm obsessed, and she posted this on her TikTok, and she's like just like dancing, you know. And I was having the worst day of my life, like ever. Got broken up with, lost 13 grand on a job. I might get fired. Boom, just like everything. And I see this TikTok, and I'm like,
Yeah.
all right,
yeah.
all right,
Yeah.
sounds good. And I
It's
found
gonna
the
be
song.
okay.
Oh yeah, El Camellón.
Yeah.
Come on.
Oh yeah,
could
El
not be?
Camellón. Yeah.
Camellón.
Yeah, great jingle.
Unbelievable. Well, thank you guys for coming. Hey, our followers and people listening to this, do us a favor, shoot these guys a message on Instagram or like a post, give them a comment, say hi. I just jumbled that up, but do that for us.
Check us out on Flying V Solutions
Yes.
or Flying V Ranches on Instagram.
Yeah, don't follow
Absolutely.
their personals.
Yeah.
Follow
Yeah.
Flying V Ranches.
Let them know what
Absolutely.
you liked from this podcast.
Yeah, or what you
sick.
didn't like.
Leave us a review.
We will block you.
Appreciate it. Thank you guys for coming on.
Love
Thanks,
you.
guys, for coming on.
Hey, really quick, one more thing.